After our first reconciliation, things went well. Very well, in fact. I mentioned hysterical bonding in the last post, and that's almost certainly what it was, but we'll talk more about that later. Our relationship was probably better than it had been, maybe ever. We connected, we showed each other affection, we had a wonderful relationship with our kids. This covered a really wonderful period from late 2017 through 2021. But then things started to change. Again. First, it started with her withdrawing from affection. Our love life became much less frequent. She insisted it was because of a change in medication and had nothing to do with me, but she didn't really do much to improve the situation. I was tired of being rejected, and so I just chalked it up to the medication and figured we would get back in the swing of things down the line. She started playing a new app on her phone that involved playing with other humans, and she was constantly on it. But it seemed to give her an outlet of something to do, so I didn't protest, because what reason would I have? And then, in summer 2022, she went to a work conference across the country. At this point, we had not been intimate in probably 8 or 9 months. The day she got home, we were. It was unexpected and nice, but it was also a little weird. She also seemed secretive about her trip. Not much detail was given, and again she was just constantly on her phone. One day when she went to work out, she left her work laptop open and my curiosity got the best of me. I checked her Google Photos. To say what I found stunned me is a gross understatement. Over 2 years' worth of screenshots of inappropriate chats, pictures sent and received, with some other man. But the worst part? Pictures of him at the destination of her work trip. She had flown another man to her under the guise of a work conference. We need to talk about this guy in the pictures from your conference. He's just a friend. I showed her some text messages she'd sent, calling each other pet names, calling each other the love of their life, and of course, plenty of explicit pictures traded back and forth. What happened while you were there? Nothing happened. I swear. We went out to dinner and then we hugged. A man flew across the country to meet you after years of sexual texting just to go to dinner and hug. But she wouldn't budge. She couldn't budge. Budging, admitting to what she did, would just solidify her as a terrible person. A terrible wife. It would be shameful, and she couldn't do that. And what's worse is she was gaslighting me. I had the evidence, the proof was right here. And she was telling me this wasn't my reality, that she actually wanted to be with me. That what was going on with this person for 2 years wasn't real. She wanted us to try. She wanted us to be married. Once again, she begged me not to leave. Unlike the last affair, this one I approached with a determined clarity. I didn't go through a haze like the last one, perhaps just because I expected it, that deep down I knew it was going to happen again. And from her point of view, I could tell even though she was saying she didn't want to leave, I knew she didn't want to try. I did learn the man's identity through my own sleuthing, a divorced pastor from a state very far from ours. What followed was several weeks of pretty deep depression for me. I didn't know what I wanted because again, I loved my family, I loved my kids and I didn't want to see them less. I didn't want my marriage to end. But on the other hand, when is it enough? At what point do you just call it quits and realize that another person will never respect you? The worst part was that she could see I was in pain and did nothing to try to assuage it. I wanted to talk about it, she didn't. I suggesting a last-ditch attempt at counseling, she didn't want to do it. I said, "Why don't you just divorce me?" She said she didn't want that either. We would get in arguments about the affairs, and she would try to quickly make it about me. When I asked her to specify what issues she had with me, she was consistently vague about not listening to her. I asked for concrete examples, and she could provide none. Desperate, I confided in some close friends. Universally, they told me I was insane for even considering staying with this woman. It was the slap in the face, the throw of cold water I needed. He didn't go and hug her, they definitely had sex. One night, while she was laying in bed, I walked in and told her, "I want to be done." She didn't fight me on it, I knew she wouldn't, but she did say, "I guess if that's what you want." Instead of taking the bait and saying, "No, this is clearly what you wanted," I simply said, "It is what I want." Our divorce was amicable, thankfully, if the circumstances that preceded it were not. I did tell friends and family about it. I told her I wasn't going to hide what happened. that she should feel free to avail herself with whatever excuse she wants to give, but that I would be telling them what happened. Our divorce was finalized about a month ago, and we both got the things we wanted. She didn't fight back much about me keeping the house, the settlement amount, or 50-50 custody of our children. But in the months leading up to the divorce, and even in this last month since, I've realized that I've been going through post-infidelity stress disorder. Clarity is coming to past things. The trauma of being cheated on multiple times, lied to, and gaslit kind of came crashing down on me at the same time. I've had panic attacks. I'm back in counseling. While our marriage is over, I never really got closure. She's still with her affair partner, and he's being introduced to my children this weekend. So now you know what happened to me, and now we can really talk about infidelity, about trauma, about what it does to a person who has been cheated on, and maybe from there, we'll start to heal.